Hello and welcome to Leadership Wednesday. Today is the last part of the series for 2019, and I think when everyone is doing it, I think it's a good way of also rethinking the last 10 years. And so I sat down after Christmas and I wrote page after page using some thoughts from my diary and also from other memories, from notes I have taken from books, from seminars during my studies. And I use it as a time of reflecting and also to starting to think, what do I want to do with the next decade, with the next 10 years? And first of all, I realized that you can think about this kind of things in two ways. You can think about, number one, about your accomplishments. That's about the skills, the behaviors, what you picked up and what you achieved. This is quite visible to see for someone else. The second area are the deeper structures, the underlying things. This is about your character, your values, your thinking patterns, your mindset and your beliefs. And most of the time when people talking about success, they're looking at the first group, about what is seen on the outside. But I can tell you from my experience, from my observation, for many leaders, if you're neglecting the deeper structures, if you're neglecting the underlying values, you will come sooner or later at the point of your career where the missing character, the missing values, the missing thinking patterns, the wrong mindset, the wrong belief system will sabotage your accomplishment and the way you can go ahead in the future. So evaluate what you have done and what you have achieved, but don't miss the deeper structures, what are beneath the public opinion, the public surface. And what I realized is that in the last 10 years, it was an incredible successful time for myself. I don't want to brag about this, but when I realized one thing, and that is that I underestimated what I can achieve. I underestimated also what I could do if I really would like to do it. And so the first thing what I would like to encourage you when you're thinking about the next 10 years, that you reinvent yourself. Challenge everything what you have achieved in the last 10 years. And think about, what do I want to achieve in the next 10 years? While not neglecting the deeper structures. Are the deeper structures supporting your further growth, or are they keeping you on the same level what you have achieved in the last 10 years? And then you have to give yourself the permission to be free from what has happened. Because if you just go on and continue the next 10 years, what you have done the 10 years before and the 10 years before and the 10 years before, then you will most certainly have some nice achievements, but you will never reach your full potential. So give yourself the permission to reinvent yourself. Secondly, you have to push the expectations. What I realize is when you're coming to a certain plateau in your career, in your life, then it's easy to become comfortable just to go little steps forward, but missing the great push. And on the same way, always looking and waiting for the big push prevents little success in the day-to-day activities. So push your expectations in the big, but also in the small picture. And then push your limitations. I mean, it's probably too late for me to become a well-known football star, but you have to push your limitations in terms that you can learn much more than what you think. You can learn a new language, you can learn some new skills, you can do some courses at university or with some organizations outside, and try something new which is uncomfortable. Try to come out and step out from your comfort zone in order to reach your greater potential. And develop some social courage. What do I mean by that? I mean that you have to make the attempt to reaching social barriers which have been imposed by the society around you, or by yourself, or by the family, or maybe your partner, or whomever, what they expect from you. Some of the expectation, of course, you have to meet because you have made a commitment, like for example in the family or in the place where you work. But on the other hand, it's important to have the social courage to stepping out of normations and to try something what probably the people don't expect from you. And avoiding procrastination. Don't think, okay, next week, next month, next year, I will do such and such. Start with the little things, because I found out that sometimes you're starting with something very small, and the small and insignificant grows into something very big. Let me challenge you at the end of this talk. Will you start 2020 as a victim or as a leader? I hope you choose to be a leader. Someone who is responsible, someone who evaluates the deep structures, someone who accomplishes something, someone who is reinventing himself or herself in the next year, in the next decade, someone who is pushing the expectation, someone who is pushing the limitation, and someone who is avoiding procrastination and developing social courage. That is my hope for you. If I can be your help, please feel free to ask. I'm very happy. Thank you for watching now almost 50 episodes of Leadership Wednesday with 10,000 of viewers. Thank you very much for that, and I hope that I can be your guide in 2020 and hopefully, if God wills, in the next decade as well. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very good start into the next year.